get them breakfast, make a pot of coffee. They eat breakfast, they sit and watch some cartoons for a while, they get lunch. If it's nice out, we'll go outside and play. Then dinner time, then bath time, then bedtime. And my two youngest, their father was in their life at the beginning, and now is not. And it's difficult to deal with the emotional stuff for the kids.
Not many people in our society realize that the nuclear family is no longer the norm. Today, single moms are on the rise, and it is not by their choice, but the situation they're in.
Daycare subsidy pays barely 50% of what it actually costs to put two boys into daycare. I have to come up with the rest, and it's just not realistic at all. That's my biggest barrier right now.
Go be his ambulance. No? You don't want to?
Single mothers are struggling with issues such as family stress, poverty, depression, and some even homelessness. Their children are at an even higher risk of emotional and behavioral difficulties. Some may even face academic and social complications.
I am. No. Motherhood has changed me a lot. Before I became pregnant with my first, I was homeless and I was a drug addict. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, everything changed. I stopped using drugs, I stopped drinking, I stopped doing everything, just so my son could have a good life in the future and not become, I don't know, not be messed up with the choices that I made. Okay, that's enough.
Single mothers experience high levels of depression and other family-related stress. Many of these women do not get help because they do not simply have the time or the money. Alan Knight, a communication coach, explains how women deal with emotional and financial issues of being a single mother.
One or two of the top things that I've noticed. One would be the fact that it's very hard to stay focused and to have their own boundaries because they got, in many cases, so many responsibilities ranging from taking care of the children and in some ways and sometimes having a career. So there's so much on their plate, and their strength is that they can take on a lot of things, but without the proper support system or if there's financial stress, it can become overwhelming and very stressful.
I did have to go through counseling because I left a very bad situation. In the past, I was abused, and I didn't want my stresses and my emotions going onto my kids. I didn't want them to feel all my pain. So I went to counseling so I could overcome those feelings and make sure that my kids are happy even when I'm sad.
Certainly some of the women, single mothers that I've worked with struggle financially, and that's part of the stress that they face. Others are fairly stable and financially they're well off, but just because you have the finances doesn't mean you're dealing with a lot of emotions or other struggles in terms of balance. So I wouldn't say most of them need government funding, but some certainly do.
So this is a tattoo that I got to represent my new life. It says, "With these roots I find my home and bear the fruit of seeds I've sown."
It may be tough at first, but eventually it all comes out, and then you have a responsible teenager and a grown man or a grown daughter, and you just see why it was so much better the way it was.